What is going on, Chief High Smoke, back to you with another one. And Max Crosby has trolled Raiders fans yet again. And Raiders fans call me a clickbaiter, a fraud. Max Crosby pump fakes more than Manu Ginobili with the Spurs. How many times have we been through this? Every offseason, Max Crosby says he wants out. In his offseason interviews, right before the season ends, he's sitting in his chair right in the locker, and he's pissed off at the media, saying that he wants out of Las Vegas, doesn't want to go through another new coaching staff, another new quarterback, is constantly complaining. But the Raiders pay this guy like he's a premier defensive end in the league. Max Crosby has 17 and a half sacks the past 2 seasons, 10 in 2024, 7.5 in 2025. Max Crosby's career is on a decline, and Raiders fans do not want to admit it. Raiders fans said that 20 teams called the GM John Spytek inquiring about Max Crosby in a trade. No, 20 teams called Jay Glazer inquiring about Max Crosby's trade. Nobody has called Raiders about Max Crosby. Max Crosby is not worth 3 first-round picks. I have no idea what Jay Glazer's agenda is. He might be really good friends with Max Crosby, does not want to make the Raiders look bad, does not want to give them bad leverage in a trade. So he says that Max Crosby is worth more than Micah Parsons in a trade with Green Bay. So he would command 3 first-round picks. Guaranteed that would never happen. Max Crosby is not even worth a first-round pick, in my opinion. He's never made a player better. You could argue that the Raiders have drafted about 7 players on that defensive line, and most of them are gone by now. Malcolm Kuntz, that played with the Raiders in 2025, had a 10-sack season. Max Crosby has never made him better. He's played his last game with the Raiders. Neil Farrell, a 4th-round pick. The Raiders actually traded this guy to the Chiefs. Max Crosby never made him better. Matthew Butler, a 5th-round pick the Raiders drafted, I don't believe is even on this team anymore. Byron Young, a 3rd-round pick, who's not even on this team anymore. Cleveland Farrell, a 1st-round pick, drafted the same year as Max Crosby. Crosby never made him better. He's not even on the team anymore. I'll give Tonka Hemingway and J.J. Hagias pass. But Crosby, part of commanding 3 first-round picks is making players better around you. And Max Crosby has never done that. What I see is, he gets a lot of double teams. He does beat those at times, but he does not play the run, in my opinion. You can go back to when Talib criticized Max Crosby about giving yards up on the run and, never making a defense better. Max Crosby's time in Las Vegas, every single defense has been bad that he's played on. You never go, well, Max Crosby makes that defense so much better, they're going to get to the playoffs. Max Crosby makes the Raiders an elite defense. Part of commanding 3 first-round picks or a first-round pick, you got to be able to rush the passer, give the back end of your defense confidence. But Max Crosby in this Raiders defensive line gives quarterbacks too much time to throw, and they constantly shred the Raiders defense. And that's why the Raiders defensive coordinator position is a revolving door. The same thing with their head coach position. And I think Clint Kubiak is a really good head coach, someone that won the Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks, and is going to approach going under center a lot with this Raiders team, with 2 tight end sets and 2 wide receivers, in using Ashton Genty. I think it's going to work eventually, drafting Fernando Mendoza. But Max Crosby continues to complain to this Raiders franchise, to these Raiders fans, continues to troll them. And I'm basically here to snap you guys back into reality. Max Crosby is not worth the first-round pick. And that's the reason why he will never be traded. He will always remain a Las Vegas Raider. He doesn't have to get any more tattoos at all or put any more teams on his body. He's going to be with the Las Vegas Raiders until his early 30s, and then they're going to possibly get rid of him. The Raiders and Mark Davis, who is really close to Max Crosby, I don't see him getting rid of him. Now, if a team does offer a first-round pick and a third-round pick, they should jump on it. It would be towards the back end of the first round and possibly third round pick in 2027. But getting 2 first round picks or a third round pick for Max Crosby is foolish thinking. Raiders fans, every single year you think your team has a chance, and it's getting better. It really is. You guys have been drafting well as of late. Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, who I think are going to be really good players. But, let's wait until the Raiders win 10 games and get into the playoffs. Every single coaching staff that comes in, Max Crosby praises them. This is the year. This is it. You go back with Antonio Pierce, and he's smoking cigars with Antonio Pierce when he gets hired. And then at the end of the year, he's saying that they got to make a change. Max Crosby, he doesn't know what he wants. I believe it's a new contract at the end of the day. Anytime one of these players request a trade or go to the media, it's always about the contract. I never laughed as hard when I heard Jay Glazer say that Max Crosby was worth 3 first-round picks. And I just knew immediately what his agenda was. He didn't want to lose the Raiders' leverage in a trade. So he goes high with the 3 first-round picks. And I guarantee Max Crosby told them to do that. They're probably really good friends offline, off the field, Jay Glazer and Max Crosby. Crosby's in MMA, so is Jay Glazer. Crosby wants to play for a contender. He doesn't want to go through a new coaching staff, a new quarterback, and Fernando Mendoza. He knows that's going to be a couple years. By then, he's going to be in his early 30s and never winning a championship or even a playoff game, possibly. So the future is getting brighter for the Raiders and their fans, but it's fool's gold thinking Max Crosby is worth multiple first-round picks. And, he's never going to get traded if you guys are asking that much for him. Now, I will settle with the back end of the first round or an early second-round pick in 2026. But multiple first-round picks is foolish thinking. Also possibly a pick in 2027. But, teams are thinking Max Crosby doesn't make anybody better. He's never played in a big game. Doesn't have any playoff experience. Also someone that doesn't play the run. Complains a lot about not getting the holding calls instead of actually playing in the game. And is someone that runs coaches out of town. And that's exactly what Max Crosby does. He's got more tattoos than actual wins with this Raiders team. All Max Crosby really cares about is mentioning Patrick Mahomes in his podcast and staying relevant with Raiders fans. It's pretty simple with this guy. He's got a lot of people fooled except me. Max Crosby, I believe, will stay a Las Vegas Raider, but will never win anything with this franchise with the attitude that he has and the way that he trolls Raiders fans. Guys, thank you for watching. If you can, go check out my buddy Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Daniel does highlights on the NFL, NBA, MLB, Olympics, hockey, wrestling, any type of sport, you name it, the highlight, Daniel's got it. That's Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, Berri. Also go check out the Cavecast, Chiefs content creator that makes draft content as well. That's the Cavecast, Kast at the end. Also go check out my buddy R&J Podcast, guy that makes Raiders content and draft content as well. I think you guys will like his content, being Raiders fans. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.